And this frame
55.
only been going 4.5 minutes, and already Ronnie accelerating to the winning line in it. This is the sort of thing that
62.
Neil will be wary of, letting up easy chances and giving Ronnie the opportunity to get his arm going. Can reel frames off in quick fashion. You don't want to allow him to get too much momentum, because we all know how dangerous that can be.
63.
But this pink and one more red and this frame is over.
Steve Dawson there, the World Snooker Tour chairman. Julian Bell refereeing his first ranking final here.
69.
Done a fine job so far. So this red, and he's pulled one back, and just needed one chance, didn't it? That error
70.
from Robertson. And this is what can happen. It didn't happen in the first frame of the night. Has done in this one. And what a lovely shot to get them all into play. So chance for
76.
another total clearance. Of course, he made the two maximums last night, plus a 1-4-2 and a 1-3-4, another couple of total
77.
clearances as well. I get the feeling we'll be talking about that match for a long, long time. But right now, his only interest is this match and making it closer.
84.
Yeah, this has been so quick from Ronnie. It was a good chance when he
85.
came to the table off the mistake from Neil, but hasn't he taken them well?
$91.
I suppose he may be thinking what could have been had he not have made that positional error in the previous frame.
92.
Had gone on to win that frame at that visit, then potentially this sort of visit too.
Well, 6 years ago, Neil Robertson was the opponent when Ronnie O'Sullivan made his 1,000th career century.
98.
Two more pots. This will be another 300 on top of that. 1,300 centuries. And it's his 11th in this tournament. And what a time to make it. He needed that, didn't he? And if there's more to come, he could still win this match.
106. 107. 112. 114. 117. 121. 126.
So it's put right what happened in the first frame of the night. Needs more of the same, of course. But as Stephen said, it's just the speed of it.
132.
7 minutes the break's taken. 8 minutes for the frame. Ronnie O'Sullivan.
139 on the frame. Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Total clearance. The crowd loved that one. Ronnie O'Sullivan narrows the gap to 7-3.
Yeah, it really was a great break from Ronnie in the last. It was a poor safety shot from Neil, completely misjudged. Sent the red over the left corner with the cue ball. A double kiss then meant the red was left available. As we mentioned right at the start, it's important for Neil to not get too carried away, not get too excited, which he won't, but also not get too stressed at the fact that Ronnie may come back at him. Does have breathing space, but he needs to still continue on how he played from this afternoon.
Yeah, this is where experience comes in. I'm sure he's prepared himself for, you know, a possible onslaught, but he knows, of course, as we all do, he can make those breaks as well. The chance comes.
Yeah, it's a strange feeling, these multi-session matches, and of course I've never been in a position to know what these guys are going through really, but when you are in front and there's a big gap between sessions, even that, just what you do in between sessions, how do you get yourself right to not start thinking about the winning line, just stay in the zone, stay focused, and equally when you're behind as well, what do you think about? There's a lot that goes on away from the actual playing side of the game. As Ronnie attempts that red and doesn't get too close to it. Hampered by the green.
Made a few plants, hasn't he, in this tournament already? Buying another one.
Yeah, and he's not right behind it, and there is a bit of room between them. Right in the heart of the pocket. Wasn't able to judge the cue ball as well as he would have liked, but at least the red's gone in. He's still got control of the table. Again, just not getting down and playing just a half-hearted safety shot, just making sure that he knows exactly where he wants to put Ronnie O'Sullivan to get him in the most amount of trouble.
Neil Robertson, 1.
I think that's been a feature of Robertson all week. His all-round game's been very good. You know, it hasn't all been, you know, big breaks every frame, but you know, we saw him battle with Mark Selby. We saw him battle with Ali Carter. Come out on top both times. Elliot Slessor yesterday. Meanwhile, Sullivan's caught that a little on the thick side. It's okay. Yeah, I just think Robertson, his all-round game's been really good. So if one part of it hasn't been, 10 out of 10, other parts make up for it. For example, in this match, his long game, he's down at 37% long potting, which for Robertson seems low.
Yeah, the long game, there was a few in the early parts of the match where neither player really could get close to a long ball. At pace, they were missing them thick. Slower, they were missing them thin. It was a little bit all over the place. There's now a chance for Neil to find his long game.
So many kisses there, he didn't really know what was going to happen. I thought at one stage he might have fluked that red, but what he hasn't done, he's left a sitter. Yeah, there's the long pot stats. O'Sullivan 50-50, but Robertson down at 35% now.
Well, he's setting himself for this mid-range red. Once again, slightly awkward cueing with the bridge hand. Oh.
1.
That really was sweetly struck.
because he's got this cue made by Sonny Akani, who's a Thai professional. I noticed he put a message up earlier today apologising for not replying to everyone's emails. He'd been swamped, as you can imagine, by people wanting cues from him, so it's a bit of bonanza for him once he's worked his way through them all.
Yeah, I saw the same as well. Poor lad, he's just trying to practice for
6.
the qualifiers that he's got coming up. In a couple of weeks' time, he's been inundated with orders all of a sudden.
7.
Because obviously, if you get a Sonny Akani cue, you're guaranteed to make maximums all day long, like the Rocket did last night. It's the secret. But no, in all seriousness, it's great to see Ronnie comfortable again with his equipment. It was a tough watch at times at the World Championship when he was tinkering with, you know, the cue, the ferrule, the tip.
15.
And you know, as a player, you know what they're going through. It's tough. It's not nice. Seems a lot happier now. Now we can just play.
$22.
So another good scoring chance got him with a wonderful red.
23. $28. 29.
Remember, it's nearly 32 years since he won his first ranking title, the UK Championship no less. It wasn't just any old tournament. And he beat Stephen Hendry, the undisputed number
36.
one at the time, in the final, a week before he turned 18 years of age. That's how he announced
37.
himself on the snooker world, on the wider world as well. And we're still fascinated by him, aren't we?
44.
Yeah, because there's so many good players now on the tour, and there's so many that make the game
45.
look very easy. But no one makes the game look like Ronnie O'Sullivan makes it look.
$52.
And you really can't take your eyes off him when he's at the table.
53. $60.
So once again, the break time heads towards the 4-minute mark, and already
61.
we've arrived at virtually frame ball. One more red needed to guarantee Neil stays in his seat.
$67.
Well, if
68.
it's going to turn round, this is how it'll happen. It'll be one visits. So he's made up for what happened in the first frame of the night by quickly winning the next two.
Yeah, and all of a sudden, what a
75.
massive final frame we've got before the mid-session interval. We said that Ronnie had to win this mini session at least 3-1. He's got a chance to do that in the next frame.
76. $83. 84.
Well, to make the century, he's going to have to
91.
pop both reds here. Last one nailed to the bulk cushion. But again, it's been
92.
very swift effort, just under 6 minutes this break.
97.
Just
Ronnie
stay
O'Sullivan,
down.
97 and the
But
frame.
97 will do. So Ronnie O'Sullivan dominates 2 frames in a row, and he has pulled it back. And as Stephen says, the next one really is big. Can he continue the comeback here and put pressure on Neil Robertson? It's a big win the mini session, and if he can win the next frame, he'll have done that, and he'll be back to within 2. And I think the concern for Robertson is O'Sullivan just needed the 2 chances, didn't he, to win those last 2 frames.
Yeah, and as well, the response from Ronnie from his own mistake in the first frame this evening, the frustrated attempt at the red to right corner when he ran out of position. You know, he's been known in the past to just blow up at that sort of thing. He's kept his composure, kept his discipline, responded well. The reason why little things like that, the positional error in the first frame this evening, really get to Ronnie is because he's such a perfectionist. You know, he wants to perfect this game. He takes great pride in his cue ball control and making the game look as easy as he does. The second he loses it, he feels like it's messy. Doesn't look very good in his eyes, and to him that's no good.
It's true, if this was a bad match and he won it, I don't think he would derive a lot of enjoyment from that. We'll see. We're heading, of course, into the final mini session, but what scoreline will it be? If it's 7-5, then it really could be a very exciting finish. With everything on the line, the money, the points, and indeed the prestige of winning this title. We saw Judd Trump last year complete the Grand Slam of the 4 majors. And Neil Robertson and Ronnie O'Sullivan, of course, have the chance to do the same here.
Where's this red going to finish? Over the pocket, it seems, or has it just finished far enough up the table where it's too thin? I think it's okay for Ronnie. For a minute there, I thought the red was going to go in. Neil unable to control the object ball, trying to play safe. So what a chance this is now for Ronnie O'Sullivan. The red's already nicely spread thanks to the safety shot that Neil just played. Black available, blue available. Good chance.
Average shot time tonight, 12 seconds. I mean, credit to Julian Bell, actually, the referee, for keeping up. I know he's actually a runner, Julian, so maybe that's why he's been chosen for this match.
Six.
Just about get deep enough on the cue ball there, Ronnie, to avoid, for the most part, main cluster. A little glance off them was fine, and that was a nicely played positional shot. Perfect control, top side of the blue, so looking now to press on. He spent a few moments here just studying and analysing the table and the pack of reds, just trying to figure out his pattern play. How does he want to go about this break? Once in his mind it becomes clear, that's when the rhythm, the tempo starts to take place. It's almost like just doing a recce of the table, figuring out where he wants to go before he can unleash. This was a nicely played shot. Again, the percentages were in his favour going into the back of the pack. Felt that he'd be unlucky to not land, and he is on a red. Just needs to be mindful of the cue ball though. Looks as if it is going into other reds unless he can get deep enough to avoid them. The one good thing is that he pushed the pink into play also from that previous shot, so he's 1 or 2 good shots away here from making this a great chance.
21.
Again, the shot selection took any doubt out of the equation. Played the percentages. There was value going back up for blue or bought colour. Bigger area to play into rather than trying to be too cute down this end.
23. 24. 31. 32. 38.
Since winning the first frame of the night with that 37, Neil Robertson's only potted 1 ball. Well, that's a period of about 15 minutes. So, just shows you how quickly things can narrow. Still work to do here, but O'Sullivan fans will be cheered by his attitude here, because he did just lose a little bit of discipline, didn't he, in that first frame, but he's refocused.
45.
Yeah, and we're looking for moments that may spark Ronnie into action, and quite often we think about
46.
the positive moments, the big breaks, the big shots, the long balls that are flying in, the clever shots that he can play, but maybe that error in the first frame was the switch that he needed. Maybe that's something that's inspired him to re-find his focus, because that's all it was a lapse. Lost the cue ball, had no reason to play a bad positional shot. Maybe that has almost just given him the boost that he needed to find this level.
52. 53. 59. 60.
The black will put him 67 in front, with 67 available.
$67.
So this red to middle, 7-5. Game very much on. It's not only winning the 3 in a row, it's how he's done it. He's needed 3 chances, hasn't he? And he's made 3 frame winning breaks. And it's happened very, very quickly as well.
74. 75. 81.
So Can he go on to make what would for O'Sullivan be a 12th
82.
century of the tournament? Remember, it's only his 5th match. He came in the last 32 stage.
$89.
Well, the red stays out.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 89.
Following the
And the frame.
39 and 97, a great rearguard action from the Rocket. So this is still potentially a tight finish coming up. Neil Robertson led 7-2. O'Sullivan's taken the next 3 to go to the... There's the trophy that will be presented here this evening. After 9 days of battle, it feels like a long time, Ken, since we watched you play Jimmy on this table.
Yeah, it feels like that. But to be honest, I think it's been a great week. There's been some wonderful stories, wonderful matches. The setup here has been fantastic as well. Players' facilities, practice tables. Yes, the crowds. Wish it had been more, but it's early days in Saudi Arabia for tournaments, and that's going to take a while to build. But the snooker has been, well, exceptional. These two players have produced some, well, magical moments all week and still producing it. He's a little bit unlucky there, Neil Robertson. It was a wonderful pot. Tried to tread that cue ball through the reds, but unfortunately no colour to go on, so just a safety shot. But yeah, it's been a wonderful week, I must say. Very enjoyable. Certainly be very enjoyable for whoever picks up that trophy, and a cheque for 500,000 as well.
Yeah, and of course, you know, Sullivan's case, that's plus the 180,000 that he trousered yesterday. So a very lucrative week, one way or another.
It's not too bad. He sort of played it with an element of safety. He hasn't left the red. But yeah, he's got himself right back in this match, Ronnie O'Sullivan. And particularly after losing the first frame, in the manner in which he did, it was sort of, he was a bit frustrated with going for that red after playing a poor positional shot. But once he got over that, in the next frame he came back, big break, and he's got himself right back in this match.
Yeah, the break's 139, 97, 89. Just needed one chance in each of those frames. Robertson only scored 1 point in that spell. That can happen in long matches. You can get a period where one player's on top. English Open final last season, Robertson was 8-2 up to Wu Yiza. Best of 17, only needed one more. Ended up winning 9-7, and Wu Yiza came back with an unbelievable display.
You know, that's the beauty of double session matches, that you can get on a little bit of a run and put it together 3 or 4 frames in a row very quickly. Certainly that's what Ronnie has done to get himself back into this match, because he was being dominated by Neil Robertson, who was playing some fantastic snooker. He hasn't made many safety errors, Neil Robertson. He's been keeping, and particularly in that first session today, he kept Ronnie O'Sullivan at arm's length. No damage done there, so we'll only be looking, trying maybe behind the yellow here if we can. Just missed it. Still pretty good. I think he's blocked the path past the pink, but the red up from the pink in the middle of the table, just down from the blue. He'll be able to play that and try and get it back down the left-hand side of the table. Very good. It's just a wonderful spectacle, isn't it, David? You know, when you have these two greats, the heavyweights of the game, just playing each other and battling their wits against each other, you know, trying to eke out opportunities. And we saw it last year in that wonderful final where it went all the way to the final frame decider. And we're seeing another two greats here battling it out.
Yeah, and they played so many finals between them, but it doesn't get any easier. And, you know, Robertson 7-2 must have been feeling good because there was a slight sign of O'Sullivan frustration, but now it's back to really focusing and just trying to prevent O'Sullivan getting any sort of chance. Because as we've seen, last three frames, he only needed one in each.
Yeah, Neil coming around to have a look at this red over this left corner pocket, tight up against that ball cushion, cueing difficulty. Yeah, it wasn't easy, and he's left it, and also he's brought the pink into play, so a double whammy for Neil Robertson. Nicely played on top side of the blue. Would have liked to have been probably a little bit straighter on the blue, that you can hold the cue ball. He could drop it in, but he may play a little cannon. Two reds left of the pink, maybe. Now he's trying to drag it in and trying to hold it off that red. Now
6.
is he on this red into the left corner? Red was a possibility into the left center as well.
Seven. $13.
Of course, he had to come back in the last 16 from 5-2 down to Chan Bing Yu. Quarterfinals, 5-3 down to Karen Wilson. This is a different story, though. It's the final. Seems a tougher ask, but he's in again.
$20. $21.
Yeah, and that's the one thing when you're playing
27.
somebody like Ronnie O'Sullivan. It's just the speed at which he can reel off frames, and even though you've got a 7-2 lead, about 30 or 40 minutes, it can soon evaporate. Just didn't screw it back. as far as he would have liked. A little bit of a
34.
stretch. Shouldn't be too much of a problem. That was the only problem. Just when you're stretching a little bit, you're just a few inches out of position. All of a sudden, it can accumulate and just lose position off a couple of cushions. So he needs a good shot here to get back into position. That'll do.
$41.
It's fascinating to watch him try and unpick the puzzle. Not every break is the same. Some are more complicated than others. Just depends where the balls are.
Yeah, we were just chatting about it in the players' room when we were watching the first 4 frames, that sometimes I think he gets more interested when it has to be a puzzle, and it's alright, he has work to do. He's just down really quick. I think he's overhit that. He was playing for the second red right of the black.
47.
And he's overhit it. And I was just about to say that, yeah, he sort of intrigues him more, that when the break is a little bit that more difficult, and there's lots of wonderful positional shots that he has to work
Ronnie
out.
O'Sullivan, 47.
And that's pretty good. Okay, he'd be disappointed he didn't win the frame at that visit as he trundles back to his chair, but he's got a good lead. And he's got a good safety shot as well.
Yes, he kept his discipline there. You could see he was frustrated, but then he just took a breath and focused on doing what you have to do, which is to try and put your opponent in a spot of bother. 46 in the frame, so realistically just looking for one more chance.
Well, that's no good from Neil Robertson. That was a bit of a nervy one. He was trying to get that cue ball tight on this top cushion, but he's left the red.
1.
And that'll do. Could have been a little bit nicer, straighter into the left middle, but it's a chance. That's just a wonderful shot, and a man
7.
full of confidence.
Yeah, he's hit a real purple patch, and the question now, how long will it last for? Neil Robertson has got to start to feel it. Surely, the way that O'Sullivan has sort of flicked a switch here.
50.
So, glance at the scores. This is to win 4 in a row
16.
and reduce the gap to just 1.
$22.
Yeah, and it was sort of a frame
23.
that Neil was winning, wasn't it? You know, earlier on this afternoon, you know, getting in, making a break. If he broke down, he played good safety, and then force another mistake
30.
from Ronnie O'Sullivan. That's exactly what Ronnie has done in this frame. Not won with a big break,
51.
but when he had to, he got him right on that back wall, put him in trouble, forced another error, and now this frame is in the bag. What a match we have on here.
Yeah, and Robertson in these 4 frames has scored 2 points. So he's been just completely frozen out. Yeah, O'Sullivan kept his discipline, didn't he? When he lost position, like you say, played a good safety, immediately forced the error. And here we are. Suddenly he's monopolising the table time.
47.
He's a man, he's released 3 autobiographies, Ronnie O'Sullivan, and there's a lot more chapters, aren't there, to be written. I mean, you could write a book on this week, actually. What happened last night and what might happen tonight.
54.
Yeah, he's such a character, isn't he? And he really is a snooker talisman, has been for
57.
best part of 33 years, I think.
Another frame goes to Ronnie O'Sullivan, 2 scoring visits. You can hear the crowd, they're loving this now. And from would be happy, but obviously
Neil Robertson
7-2, and it did look as if O'Sullivan was just starting to get frustrated. He would have had designs of having won this by now. As it is, this really is a battle on the bays.
Yeah, and when you're involved in a match like this, it's great when you're chasing because you've got momentum. You know, Neil now, after having a 7-2 lead, all of a sudden 45 minutes later it's 7-6, and it's a horrible feeling. He needs to try and stop the rot as quickly as possible. Just stop that momentum. It's a great feeling when you're chasing, but when you're being chased, it's not so nice at all. So Neil Robertson would be feeling it a little bit.
Yeah, he understands the psychology of it. Of course, the year he won the World Championship, he was 11-5 down, wasn't he, to Martin Gould. Won 13-12, and more recently beat John Higgins in Tour Championship final 3 years ago from 9-4 down, 10-9. So he knows what it's like to chase and to put your opponent under pressure.
There's a typical Ronnie O'Sullivan safety shot. He loves playing that off 3 or 4 cushions, trying to bring reds out into play. He hasn't covered this red, which he was hoping to do. But Neil's safety is starting to let him down a little bit. The coin has certainly been flipped. He was dominating the safety exchanges in the first part of this match earlier on today, but he's not reaching that ball cushion as much now. Now a chance for Neil. Red into the corner. There's plenty of room to escape back to the balk area, even hold for the blue if he wishes.
One.
Good pot, and nicely on a colour. He'd love to get on one of these reds, the red just above the black spot, or the red that's close to the left corner pocket. He'd love to get on one of these here. Deep screw, cue ball down the table, and played it nicely.
3.
Remember, Neil Robertson has won 7 of his last 8 ranking finals, but the one he lost was to a certain Ronnie O'Sullivan 4 years ago at the World Grand Prix.
$11. $12.
This is a chance that he would have been hoping for. Reds are situated beautifully. Not much to do with the cue ball just yet.
19.
He puts this next red. He'd like to finish low on the black, so he could maybe play into the pack of reds, but still always be on that red just above the black.
20.
Yeah, perfect. Now you just play a delicate little cannon into the reds. Try and dislodge 1 or 2 and still be on this red just above the black. Oh. Played it with a lot of force. I don't think he needed to do that.
27.
Delicate little cannon would have been a lot more favourable, because he would have been guaranteed to be on that red. And now he's pushed the cue ball through, and he's on a red just below the pink, but a little bit more tricky than he would have liked.
$28. $33.
I wasn't expecting that kiss on the yellow. He does have 1 red, the one that's directly above the black. It does cut into the right corner pocket, and he'd be playing it, the cue ball, back down into the bulk area. Sort of a free shot, this. Oh, well, I say a free shot. Oh, has he been lucky? Has he got the cover? Has he got the cover? I don't think so. I think Ronnie O'Sullivan is on this, and he can get on the black. And I think that was a mistake, Dave. That shot he played previously on the black, played it too hard. He could have played a delicate little shot to guarantee himself on the red, and it could be very, very costly.
One. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, didn't pop that as cleanly as he may have liked. Just having the white cleaned. Robertson inadvertently tied the yellow up last shot. We'll see whether that makes any difference down the line. First things first, this black.
This is very missable. It's a big shot. Oh, he's just floated that in beautifully. What a shot he's played there. Fantastic.
Yeah, it's such an improvement, isn't it, on this afternoon, where he was sort of struggling really to find anything. Maybe a slight reaction from last night, but he's had a few hours in between sessions for the most important session of the tournament. It's just impeded by yellow and pink here.
Nine.
No problem, though. He might have a few problems. Fully in control, not just the scoreline, just the way it went 7-2, the way he won the first frame of the night. He had visions of, you know, a really one-sided match, but the opposite has happened, and that's credit to O'Sullivan's resilience, the way he's dug in here.
16.
It's the resilience as much as the actual snooker. Of course, they go together. But his shoulders have not dropped at all. I know from talking to him, you know, he really wants to win this tournament. He wants to win out here. Not just for the money, but for the prestige. And also, I think he, all week, I mean, it's not been packed every day by any means, but the fans that have come, it seems almost all of them have wanted to see Ronnie O'Sullivan, and they've wanted to see him win.
17.
Yeah, no, I don't think Ronnie is motivated
24.
by money, but he does get himself up for the big events, that's for sure. And this is one that he wants to add to the CV.
25.
We've seen him come back. I mean, he was 5-2 down to Chang Bing Yu
32.
in the last 16. Should have gone out. He dug himself out, played brilliantly in the last 4 frames. He did the same against
33.
Kyron Wilson from 5-3 down. I mean, he's doing it here again.
40.
He
41.
won't need the red that's closest to the left hand side cushion. He'll be able to gather enough points with these 3 loose reds.
48. $49. 56. 57.
'So another sizable break, and surely a frame-winning break. He checks the scores just to confirm what Ken
64.
said. Doesn't need the last red, and we're going to be level.
65.
Five in a row.
Yeah, wonderful performance. Neil Robertson, though, what a chance he had.
72.
And this was the shot he played. Look at this. He plays a delicate little shot into those reds. He's always going to be on that red over the black.
73.
Decided to play it with force and didn't get on the red properly, and that was his chance, Neil Robertson. He's been a bit unlucky there, Ronnie, but still, what a break.
Okay.
Where's that? 139, 97, 89, 57, and now this 80.
7.
In the last 5 frames to win
on the frame.
the last 5 frames,
Yeah.
Neil Robertson is not getting out of his chair. He was in full control at 7-2, but O'Sullivan has hit back, and he's hit back strongly, and we're all square in Jeddah, 7-all.